The numbers speak to me. I know what they are trying to tell me, but I just don't want to listen. That is why the Synchronicities have been ramping up and even messing with me lately. This is my story, a 3-part series, a true story from a Smoking Owl Tales listener. In this story, I will tell you about a girl that I met on a dating app while living in a recovery house, and how meeting her brought me from one hell to another. My name is Daniel Cross, and I am a targeted individual. I went from one bad situation to another. However, I could see the truth on the whole journey, and this isn't an overcome type of journey, at least not yet. In this part of the story, I will tell about how I met her, and how the numbers manifested themselves, and how I interpret them. So stay tuned for this gruesome affair, a dip in the journey of Daniel Cross.
Finding yourself in the talons of an owl in the shadows of the forest moonlight, it's a gruesome affair.
If the number is yours, the power is yours. Nobody gets a more special number than anybody else. That would just be ego at play, nothing more. We all feel that ego lurking within us. This is an open secret. 112233. These are the master numbers. 33 is associated with paradigm shifts. And this is one reason we are seeing so much happen right now. I think you are aware, dear listener, that you are witnessing a biblical paradigm shift here in Earth Realm, right here and right now. My name is Daniel Cross. I researched the meaning of my name, and I know it all now. Things are starting to make sense. We are living through the eschaton, an era of awakening to truths we once feared even contemplating. Just as these grand cosmic truths are revealed, so too are the illusions of our personal relationships. These are the micro illusions within the macro illusion. It is all connected. Once the narcissist's lies are exposed, the illusion collapses. Trust is shattered, leaving her desperate, backpedaling, shifting blame in every direction but her own. She will shift the blame back on you. She will try to demonize you to save the credibility of her narrative. But the eyes that see the truth now, and each additional lie she tells, just has the effect of actually further revealing the demon who controls her. Her evil spells are coming back at her, only the magnitude is tenfold now. This is the situation that you are in now. You realize you are living in a lie the whole time, from the very beginning, and now you know what a spell is. It is just words. Spells are not imaginary magic in books and movies. Spells are very and brutally real. They are all around us. The corporate slogans, the gaslights of the implacable perfect masked lover, an almost reasonable request of the trucker hitchhiker. All these words are just spells that they cast on you with calculated intention, effect, and outcome. Once you see through it all, once you know the game ends. The only winning move in a game you cannot win is to not play. You move to a higher level of awareness. There is no going back now, and you see familiar spells in the news media, in the bigger world. You see it everywhere, and you recognize it instantly. You have now tasted the fruit of the tree of knowledge, and exactly as written in Genesis, you can see good from evil. My mother practiced Wicca. I grew up in a weird household. I could see things others couldn't, so I got used to being called crazy at a young age. I never fit in. I knew I was different. When you are growing up, you think that gift is a curse. It weighs on you like a burden, a constant reminder that you're out of place and no one else sees the world the way you do. You think there is something wrong with you because you are not like the others. The illusion around me, media, propaganda, psychological games, they became too easy to see through. It wasn't just a mental clarity, it was spiritual. I knew then that this was more than just a societal battle. It was a spiritual war, one happening right in front of us right now. Once you realize we are living in Zombie Nation, you realize the gift is exactly that. The gift is a gift. It's not just that I can see through their lies. It's like I can feel the ripple of their intentions, a pulse in the air before they even speak. It's instinct, intuition, and something more. I can't be lied to. I feel the lie coming before it is even spoken. I feel the wave of intention before it is put into play. The psychological operations and propaganda do not work on me. It's not just that. I see it coming. I feel their next move before they even make it. I know how they think, and I sense their intentions. Once you understand intentions, the word overlays become meaningless. It is simply theater, and not the best acting, I might add. I think anyone can do this actually. It just came to me before I understood it. The first stage makes you feel crazy. Either I am crazy and everyone else is sane, or I am sane, relatively, and everyone else is crazy or asleep or something like that, but definitely not on my frequency. I learned to keep quiet about it. I learned not to argue about conspiracy stuff, or religion, or witchcraft, or even whatever the latest thing is trending in the media. I just don't get involved with that. I just let people think they are right, whether their eyes are open or not, to the relentless spiritual war going down right now as I speak, right here and right now, in this place that I am, and in that place that you definitely are, here in Earthrealm. Dear listener, believe me when I say this isn't far away. It is happening right where you are, whether you see it or not. Well, if they don't want to see it, at least for now, that's their journey, that's their battle, and that's their ego that will have to do what one's ego does when you really, really actually wake up. An ego dies when you wake up. There is no going back. You are no longer part of the bewildered group as you were trying to be before. The ego never fully leaves you. A little ego helps us all, but you see the illusion now, and you realize that at least for a while, you thought the illusion was real too. This will humble a soul. You have more empathy for the believers when you yourself have been under the spell, when you yourself have believed the hype. Then you might have to step over the ambush that the ego trap is, thinking you are something special because you see things that others cannot. That's the ego again. An ego is not a safe driver for consciousness. With that out of the way, you're awake now, and in a way, you are reborn. You see the world with new eyes. I saw shadows leaving literally through the front door of my house. This was when I was a kid. My mother was cleansing our home of demons, and I literally saw some of them leave the house before I even knew what my mother was doing inside. I went inside, and my mother, a Wicca witch, was burning sage in a ceremony. Stuff like that was normal for us. Sometimes I know things before I know them, if that makes any sense. Everything is energy, consciousness, frequency, and patterns and mathematics. It's like that Morrissey or Smith song, "Nature is a language, can't you see?" In my journey, most of the synchronicities I see are numbers. I kept seeing the numbers again and again. I started learning about it. This is called Gematria. The brand of Gematria that has the most meaning for me is specifically Hebrew Gematria. They know something. There is something with numbers, angel numbers like 1111, and the master numbers 11, 22, and 33, and so forth. I see these a lot. The two numbers that haunt me the most are the classics, 33 and 666. When I pull tarot cards, I more often than not pull the death card. More on that later. 33 is a key number in the human earth experience and ongoing paradigm shifts that we are witnessing. There are 33 degrees. You probably already know this. Please understand I refrain from keywords in these stories. Jesus lived 33 years, and 33 is connected to certain promises made by God. It is the 33rd time in the book that Noah's name is used when God made a special covenant. This promise was to not destroy the world again with another flood, and this pledge is sealed with a real-life sunlit rainbow in the ebbing storm of the rainfall that brought Noah's flood that we all know about. 33 is the numeric representation of the Star of David. 3 is mentioned 11 times in the book of Revelation. 3 times 11 is 33. Revelation is God's judgment of the world, and it is carried out over 1260 days. 1, 2, 6, 0. 1 plus 2 plus 6 equals 9. We keep returning back to 3, 6, and 9. I see so many, especially women, with tattoos of angel numbers 333, 777, 111. Each 3-digit angel number adds up to either 3 or 6 or 9. These are the 3 numbers that Nikola Tesla called the secret of the universe. Further, there seems to be repetition. The first temple ever built was Solomon's temple on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. It was the first house of sanctum mentioned in the Bible. It would later be destroyed by the siege of Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar II of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Maybe this is a reach, and I know it was named after a New York finance house, but I cannot help but see a parallel with the collapse and destruction of Tower 7 in 2001. That tower was named the Solomon Brothers Tower. A reach or not, everything is indeed connected. We are all connected, together, for better or for worse. Like the title of that 9 Inch Nails song, we are in this together. There is so much to say on this, but this is just my story. That's the thing about secrets. It's not what you can't know. It's more that you will have to seek it if you wish it to be revealed. It's all there, and has been for many centuries, written in black and white. The truth is not locked away. The truth is something you will have to seek if you want to find it, or at least seek part of it. The question is, do you want to find it? Are you ready to discover the truth? Do you want to know it? Can you handle it? Can you survive letting the illusion go? About the Death Tarot card, some are scared when they pull this card. It is a card that comes up a lot for me, but I do not fear it. My meditations have revealed its meaning, and it is very much a parallel to the number 33. The Death card for me means death of the prior version of me. It indeed means a paradigm shift. It is about transformation and rebirth during this lifetime. It is about seeing the world with new eyes. I'm in my late 20s now. Fast forward to pre-COVID, I was living in a recovery house. I'll be direct. Sometimes seeing all this stuff feels surreal. I rarely have anyone to actually talk about it. Most people around me, family and friends, they just call me crazy. They say I am crazy. I try to fit in and be normal, but I just can't be interested in talking about sports game scores or film series when there is literally a spiritual war going on exactly right here and exactly right now in my personal life, in America, in the world, and dear listener, where you live and in your very life and in your very town and in the most primary battlefield of them all, in your very mind and soul. When you see it, you cannot unsee it, and it's always just right there. The Torah contains secrets. It can reveal things about the past and the future. I'm not peddling the Torah here. I know the best book of reference is simply the good book. I am not afraid to spell that fact out, but the Torah too, read through the lens of Gematria, like the Bible, contains clues and indicators about big things happening in the world today. The Bible does too, even more. We already know this, and we have some reading to do. There is power in Gematria, power of creation, and we are all creators. That is the divine within us. Whatever created us is a creator, and we hereby are further agents of creation. When you realize that magic is real, you realize what spells are. Every word you speak is a spell. Behind that word, spoken or written, there is energy. And behind that energy, there is power. The power of consciousness and creation. I know this. And it is so easy to say and so easy to know. But at the same time, it is so easy to fall out of it. Sometimes we worry about the worst case scenarios. And by doing exactly this, we are complicit in manifesting these worst case scenarios. I have so many times manifested, literally, the worst case scenario. I think you have too, dear listener. As bad as this is, you know your power. Now you know there are dark forces that are encouraging you to do this, to manifest dark things that you don't want to manifest. There are also forces that are trying to guide you, trying to guide me. I have spent too much time already deep in hell. I know I am in a suburb of hell right now, and I know it is possible to get out. It is just not easy. As bad as it is, hell can be a comfortable place to always stay for just one more day, or 2 more days. I'd gotten into some bad stuff. Sure, I did some psychedelics. Many have woken up at an accelerated rate from ayahuasca or mushrooms. My wake up was LSD, lysergic acid diethylamide. It's ironic that a synthetic chemical like lysergic acid diethylamide, peddled by the CIA, can actually facilitate an awakening to so many things that they want you to be asleep to. I did make some wrong decisions, got involved with the wrong people, and found myself using crystals and not the psychedelic ones. I am not proud of this, but this is what happened. There's been plenty of struggle on this journey, plenty of wrong moves. This story is about this. I will tell you the worst of my wrong moves. It's amazing that America is such a rich and advanced nation. We made the Tesla car, the iPhone, Instagram, and YouTube, and the stealth bomber. We made cool movies about the moon too, but so many places in America are just backwards. I just wanted to feel something, feel good, feel loved, feel alive again. And when you smoke that evil stuff, this is what that evil stuff makes you feel, briefly, and it's not real. It's fake like so many things in America. You're comforted, not because you stuck to your workout program, not because you put in the honest work. No. You're comforted not because you did a good job or are running a business. No. You are comforted because you are exactly a junkie who scored some junk. Nothing more. Period. And sooner or later, you'll be stealing to get cash to get more junk. That's what I did. I became a thief. I knew it was wrong, but I just wanted to feel good again, feel alive again, or just be dead. When you're a thieving junkie, it's not that you are stealing material things. It's like you don't feel okay, so you need to take a little feel okay from somebody else. They won't mind. They have plenty of that. Sometimes it feels like everybody has so much feel okay. I just want to take a little bit. It just comes in the material form until that whatever is sold. The crystals are bought and the fumes hit that junkie bloodstream. When you are a junkie, you are more afraid of being sober than overdosing. I know it's not pretty. Eventually, I saw the big picture and walked out of that hell. Walking out of hell is always a slow and tedious process. I knew this. I took the first slow, difficult, unsteady step, So I left those people. I realized they are not my friends. They are just other addicts with egos and without eyes to see. We shared a common illusion of lost faith, a common illusion of learned helplessness and taking the low road with some scripted justifications. I couldn't talk to them about reality, the other sides of reality, and certainly could not talk to them about how to clean up and gain control of life again, and find the Good Shepherd, and find the still water, and let my natural feet feel the earth supporting my weight, and the tickling of the array of grass blades of the green pastures that are mentioned in King David's Psalm 23. I got help. I was living in a recovery house. It was okay. It actually is a relatively normal place to live. It's just a house in a normal suburban neighborhood with other people in recovery. I was single, so I made a Tinder account and played my luck with the one-armed swipe bandit of love. I would lay in my bed in the recovery house, swiping on that little glowing screen. I know there is something pathetic about this, but what's the better option now? Looking at all those girls in the photos, it was just watching women's eyes, noses, lips, hairstyles swipe left and right. I read their little comments like whether they like pineapple on pizza, their dog, and their aspirations to travel more or whatever. Some of them had a little bio. In many cases, they just wanted to funnel you to their Instagram account. Within a few days, I was messaging regularly with one girl. She was about my age, but a little younger. Her name was Anastasia. When I first wrote to Anastasia on Tinder, I joked that she had the longest name for a girl ever. She had written it as Anastasia, twice with no space. Once I learned about Hebrew Gematria, I learned why. I understood. It all adds up like a number puzzle. She passed it off as a bug in the app, but her number adds up like this. A is 1, N is 40, A is 1, S is 90, T is 100. When you keep going and sum them all up, the aforementioned numbers, the result is 33 for Anastasia. But write it twice like she did on her profile, and you get 666. Realizing this gave me chills, and this makes sense to me. We kept messaging, and of course she was cute. She was fit enough. I liked her. Somebody asked me what we did on our first date. I know this sounds insane, but our first date was when she picked me up at the recovery house to bring me to her place to move in and live with her. I know this sounds unreal and made up, but this is literally what happened and exactly how it went down. Was it weird? Of course it felt weird. Life is weird. I'm weird. Anastasia is weird. You are probably weird too. But if you are single in a recovery house and a cute 25-year-old girl with a Gematria name on Tinder adding up to 666, if she picked you up to move in with her, would you not go with the flow on that one? Things got even weirder fast. But when I say fast, I mean the first 5 minutes of moving in. She had 2 kids, and she had a husband too. This shocked me, this disturbed me, and he lived there too. That first night, she said that he was away, but he will be coming back in a week. He did, and we did not get along. And yes, we would eventually have a fist fight. You could have predicted that one. We'll get to that later too. Also, when I am at her house, this is where I live now as I write this story, I feel angry. I feel like there is an energy weapon targeting me and stimulating my brain to be angry. That's how I feel. Angry. I feel angry, but I don't want to feel angry. The first night, she said to me, "I love you." She said it and then looked away fast, as if she was scared to see how I would react. I didn't know how to react. Then she said, "This is all happening so fast. I wasn't supposed to like you this much, this fast." She said, "Do you like me too?" She asked. It was weird because I did like her, but her asking me this made me uncomfortable, and it was actually making me like her less. "Daniel," she said, "I am going to push you away. I am going to do things to make you go away, but I want you to stay when I do those things, okay?" She said. "Why would you do that?" I asked. She didn't answer that question. She just looked at me with those wide eyes and occasionally looked away because she couldn't bear the intensity of our eyes gazing into each other. "You don't love me back, do you? You are going to leave me like all the others, aren't you?" She said. "I can tell by how you are not answering," she said. I didn't know what to say. I could make a white lie to appease her, or tell her the truth, that she is scaring me to death and putting me in a corner with these intense questions on the very first night, within hours of even meeting each other for the first time. Did I get gang stalked? Well, Anastasia herself is a kind of gang stalker or some kind of handler. I know it's a weird thing to say, but it feels like she was sent to me. It feels like her interest in me is part of a kind of assignment. If not an assignment from within the physical 3D realm, a spiritual assignment from the dark hierarchy of another realm. Sometimes I wonder if she is on the CIA's payroll or something, or if that organization and Anastasia are both controlled in some way by the same dark force. Who are her masters creating this assignment? My intuition is that her masters are exactly the spiritual principalities in high places, as described in Ephesians 6:12. Settling in with Anastasia, as weird as it was better than the recovery house. Instead of being alone in a big house with a few polite but distant recovering addicts, I was now sleeping in a queen-size bed with a beautiful young woman who couldn't keep her hands off me. Anastasia wanted intimacy. She was very direct, very forward. She said, "I'm glad I'm not the only one who's horny." I liked it when she said this. It was more than a sign letting me know that the door is wide open already. Pleasing her was literally a pleasure, but the energy was dark. I had a dream the first week. I know that dreams are ways for us to communicate with ourselves. A dream is a nonverbal message from our subconscious, which is further connected to the superconsciousness, or the all, or as some call God or Source in this dimension and others. I dreamt that I was laying in that queen-size bed with Anastasia, and I tried to hug her, but she pulled back and said, "Get off me." And she got up, shape-shifted so that her face had this demonic contort, and then she chased me to the window, which was open, exposing the outdoor nighttime breezing cold air. I climbed through the window and then jumped out into the darkness below. Another part of this dream is her black cat was perched on the windowsill, watching this all go down, inquisitively, but not reacting. The cat was just observing with an energy that it understood what was going on, but it wished just to witness it. Cats can see things that most people cannot see. This is why some of their behavior seems as though they are seeing something that is not there. There is something there. Just like their hearing range is broader into frequencies that we humans are deaf to, their third eye can see what most of us couldn't even imagine is there. Although some of us can see it too. Cats see demons as clearly as we see cats. A cat can see the alien, or the ghost, or the spirit. That's why they watch so calmly. They see them all the time, so they are not surprised by the sight. A cat cannot speak, but it sees things that we don't. Cats have layers of awareness that most humans do not even entertain the existence of. The cat is literally right here with me in the 3D as I recount this story right now. There would be another dream again with the cat watching. More on that later. About the fight with the husband, he really was not around often, but when he was there, the air was so thick with tension that you could cut it with a knife. We actually fought with physical contact, not once, but twice. The worst of the two is pretty cringy. He's definitely a full-on narcissist, and I don't like talking to him. When I said some words to him, he walked in the kitchen and loudly said, "Speak up, boy," in my face. We pushed each other, and then he tried to get an uppercut on me, but I evaded it. I de-escalated the situation. The other time he came to me all coked out and said, "You getting aggressive with me, boy?" He got all up close. I wanted to hit him. I think he wanted to hit me too. But in this frustration, he just hit me on the side of my head. It was a kind of sloppy hook. It was hard, but not that hard. I just said to him, "Do you really want to fight like this in the house?" And he just smirked and replied, "No, it's a waste of my time." I think I could have hit him really hard. I would have given him a right uppercut to his chin as hard as I could. I don't think he would have seen it coming. After shocking him with that, I would have pounded his face with so many punches, he would never know how many. That's the thing about fights. Most guys will stop when they get one good hit in, or when they receive one bad hit. You gotta just keep going. Swing with everything you got until the other one is on the floor. Just keep swinging left, right, hook, uppercut, and keep going until he is on the ground. But I didn't want to fight with him, win or lose. I have nothing to prove here. I am not sticking around long enough for any of this to even matter. That concludes part 1 of the 3-part series. In the next part, part 2, I will tell more about the demonic energy in the house, and I will tell the story about how Anastasia gave me a phone number for a contact who would try to get me to join a cult, or should I say, a lodge. I did meet with him, and what felt like a surrounding army of gang stalkers too. So be sure to subscribe and visit again on another night soon for the second part of this 3-part series, a dip in the journey of Daniel Cross. It's been awesome having you visit for this horrible tale. Dusk is a time of transition. It's an owl's wake-up call. As the shadows grow longer and darkness takes over, the only thing to fear is fear itself. You can also catch Smoking Owl Tales on Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, and X, the social platform formerly known as Twitter. A pure audio version of these tales is available as a podcast on Apple, Spotify for podcasters, Podbay, Google Podcasts, and TuneIn, amongst others. There continues to be multiple mind-blowing collaboration stories in the works, and many of them are based on real stories from listeners of the Smoking Owl Tales YouTube channel. If you feel the call, give a rip at the subscribe button and scratch at the comment. Smoking Owl now has released a debut track titled Eternal Soul. So now I know, I am an eternal soul. It is available on Spotify and all major streaming services. A link to the Spotify version of the track is available in the description, but you can find the track easily by searching Smoking Owl on your streaming service. So, when you're driving your second loop around the 285 in Atlanta and that company van with no phone number is still trailing you, you know which track to play. I am sincerely grateful for your presence here, so stay longer now or catch you on another night soon because the story goes on and 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 on.